concluding guest is going to be Bob Winder. Bob, can you hear us all right?
I sure can. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, I can hear you great. Bob, you look sharp.
Well, I appreciate that. This is a big deal, right? I got to dress up for a big meeting like this.
Well, I think so too. That's why I'm trying to dress up. But you one-upped me with the tie. But you know what? Considering that you're the founder, CEO, president, the whole kit and caboodle of a company, I guess you get the right to be able to own the meeting. To introduce Bob a little bit before I give the remaining time over to him. Bob is a graduate from Brigham Young University in finance. He then went and got his MBA, Master's of Business Administration, from the Kellogg School of Business. He's done a lot of things along the way. He's got a tremendous work history, including one of the things he does. He's an adjunct business professor teaching private equity and venture capital at Brigham Young University, while also subsequently being the president, founder, CEO of Logan Growth Advisors. They've been able to hire a fair number of our students as interns, and we've had a couple of full-time placements as well. I'm going to let Bob take it from here. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for that introduction. So I'm from Logan, right? And I love Logan. I love Utah State. My dad teaches at Utah State. And even though I went to a school down south, don't hold that against me. I love Utah State. And we've had really, really good talent come from Utah State. You guys are just hungry, hungry, good work ethic, good attitude. So we love working with you guys. I need to keep getting more involved. Appreciate you getting me involved here to talk to the students. So investment banking, that's a pretty broad topic. So why in the world is investment banking called investment banking? Well, the answer is I have no idea. It is so vague. I tell people I'm an investment banker and they're like, I have no idea what that means. I'm like, I don't either. So I guess we have something in common. Really what it is we help companies raise capital or engage in a merger or an acquisition. So there's kind of two things that we do. If there's a company that needs to raise capital, for example, let's say I have a business, 100 million of revenue, 10 million of EBITDA, and I want to buy out one of my partners, he wants to exit. I'll go talk to someone like me and say, hey, I need to raise $10 million to buy out my partner. What should I do? And we'll go out to market and we will put a really nice pitch book together and we'll go and pitch that deal to hundreds of different investors and try to get the best terms possible in order to raise that capital and, buy out the former or the partner that's exiting the company. Or we'll sell your business. So there's a lot of business owners that, they're aging, it's time for retirement, they need to exit, they need to sell their business, or they realize this is a good market to be a seller. I want to sell my business. So they talk to us and we say, yep, it is a really good market to be a seller. We can help you out with that. So we do the same process. Let's put together a fantastic pitch book. Let's understand your business in and out. Let's understand where the growth drivers are, where the issues are, if we can, patch any blind spots or make any improvements along the way. And then we'll go syndicate that deal out to hundreds of investors, run a competitive process, and let the best investor win. What's so nice is when you can create a real competitive process, have multiple investors at the table competing for your deal, you get better terms. And so it's kind of like lending tree, right? When multiple banks compete, you win. It's the same thing. We create that competitive process among multiple investors. It's a blinded auction. So they don't know how many. We have a deal right now that we just signed a letter of intent. So that means like they sent us a term sheet. We liked it. So we signed it. Then they're going to complete their due diligence to close the deal. And we started out with 30 term sheets. So we went out to 600 different groups, narrowed it down to 30. We got 30 term sheets. Then we narrowed it all the way down to 4. And then we pushed those 4 super hard. So hard that 3 of them dropped out and we were only left with 1. And then that one came through really, really good. So we pushed them really hard and they don't know how many other people were there. they didn't know they were the last one. They figured there was lots. So that was fun. So investment banking is, when you think about what it's like to work in this industry, well, you're dealing with really big, important transactions, and the stakes are high, and therefore the stresses can be pretty high too. We often work with founders. Most of the time we're working with founders, and this is the most important financial and professional event of their lives. And so it requires a tremendous amount of trust for them to trust us to really help them navigate through either selling their business or, finding a private equity or other institutional investor partner to partner with their business, which is kind of like, their baby. They've been working on this for years and years, maybe their whole life. So it's really fulfilling to link arms with a founder and have that commitment and conviction that, hey, we're going to get a deal done. We're going to get a win for you to help celebrate your life's work and get a win together. So for me, that's super fulfilling, and it's not easy, man. Geez, working with founders, the data's messy. They don't really know, what investors want. And, so we have to coach them, and we have to kind of work on the business to get it ready to go, recast the financials. It's a tremendous amount of work to get a company ready to go to take to market. And then that marketing process is also just a huge heavy lift. So the workload is very, very heavy, and there's a lot of uncertainty. One day you got a deal, the next day you don't. And so, and the stakes are high, tons of work, tons of uncertainty. So it's certainly not for everybody. And if you do work in investment banking, it's prudent to have some healthy outlets. Otherwise your life expectancy is probably not very good. So for me, I do a lot of CrossFit, and I love to hang out with my kids and, try to go to the beach as much as possible. And we also have an awesome team, a lot of good Utah State kids that bear a lot of the brunt of the beating. But I love what we do, man. I just love it. And we have a really cool niche working with lower middle market, founder-owned businesses, helping them get wins, and just running really good processes. So that's a little bit about investment banking, a little bit about what we do. In terms of like the practical day-to-day, a lot of it is just sifting through. I mean, I'm chatting with one of my partners right now, trying to sift through the financials of this company we found in Hawaii, which I'm obviously pretty interested in. I definitely want a business expense a bunch of trips out there as soon as they lift all their COVID issues. It's probably not a good business, but I'm like totally biased. So, we just logged into their QuickBooks. They've made like one entry in the last 2 years. So we're having to download all their bank statements, convert those to Excel, try to recast and create an income statement. So like dealing with founder businesses creates a ton of brain damage just because they're messy. It's not the pretty financials that you see in class. We're dealing in the Wild West out here. So a lot of what we do is just trying to make sense of the web and entanglement of messy data that we get from founder businesses. Then we clean all that up. And then the other big part is let's put that into really good, succinct pitch book package, a lot of PowerPoint, a ton of PowerPoint, really, really good. Our PowerPoints are heavy, they're detailed. They're never your cute, pretty kind of marketing, PowerPoints that you see, and your marketing professor will see my material and just like get nauseous, right? Like this is not the kind of stuff that your marketing professor is going to enjoy looking at. This is very heavy, very, very full content. And, one of our pitch decks might be 80 or 100 pages long, all about the business, industry, growth strategy, et cetera. And, we hand those out to hundreds and hundreds of investors, and then they let us know if they're interested. So a lot of junior guys, a big focus is them just hammering on PowerPoint. We have a ton of training. But, attention to detail, man, it's just so important. Attention to detail, having a good attitude, being willing to work in a lot of ambiguity. And then again, the uncertainty. I mean, people work for me. Most of my Utah State kids are really good, but I had a BYU kid last semester that was like, Bob, this certain project you signed me up on isn't sexy. It's not what I signed up for. I'm like, not every day is like something really sexy that we're working on. It's not every minute that I'm negotiating, $1 million swings in purchase price. Most of the time, we're just trying to make a PowerPoint look pretty or responding to a 15-page data request, something like that. But there certainly are glimpses in moments where it is pretty interesting when you close the deal and you see all the wires transfer hundreds of millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars, and you're a part of that. That's pretty fun. And it's really fulfilling to get a win for a founder. So that's a quick intro. What questions do you guys have?
Anyone like to kick us off? Go right ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. If I can just jump in, would that be all right? Perfect. Okay, so Bob, you talked about how it's a pretty heavy, uncertain workload, but then you also make time to hang out with your kids and family. So what does for someone coming into the business, right? Because I'm graduating, I would be at the starting it, right? What does that work-life balance look like?
Yeah, great question, and very common question when thinking about investment banking. So I'm a firm believer that any great career begins with substantial sacrifice, especially in the early years, because your trajectory is really the foundation of your trajectory is formed today when you're in school and the first few years out of school. You get a better job, you do some good stuff, and that just puts you on so much steeper of a trajectory than otherwise. And it's really, really hard to make up ground if you don't start out right later in your career. So putting in those investments now, doing the work now. And, my wife and I had a chat early on, and I did management consulting, and then I went to private equity, and then I did a search fund, I bought a business, and then I formed Logan Growth Advisors, investment banking. So I've kind of done, a few of those things, and they're all intense. And, with my wife, we just decided, hey, let's put in some investment now. We might not see each other a ton the first couple of years, but the moments that we are together, let's make them count. It's not the quantity, it's the quality. And then as soon as I become a little more senior and a little more in control of my schedule and have some people working with me that I can leverage, then I have to make a real conscious effort to put boundaries and to be a lot more strategic about my priorities. And it's tough. It's definitely tough. And you can easily get lost in the rat race of always looking for that next shiny thing career-wise and not prioritizing the things that really matter. I have 5 kids, right? So, that's super important to me. It's 4:30 on a Friday afternoon. I'm pumped to go see my guys, but this is obviously super important. I'm happy to be here. But I would say in those first few years, you're not going to be able to dictate your schedule very well. And so you just have to make that time count that you are with your family. But you have to make the conscious decision that, when you have the ability to dictate your schedule more, you have to put boundaries, and you have to be very disciplined to make sure you keep your priorities straight and, make the appropriate time and effort for the people that mean the most in your life.
Great question. We got time for one more.
Hi, Bob. I'm a freshman and I'm really interested in investment banking. So I really appreciate you coming. So I heard that you worked in the lower middle markets in investment banking, and you help founders sell their businesses sometimes. And it's really important for them. So I also understood that in investment banking, you helped companies raise capital as well. These junior bankers or interns that come in, how often do they work on deals versus other work?
They're always working on deals. So we have 3 interns now. 2 of them are getting the pitch books ready, the confidential information memorandums ready. We were on the phone for 2 hours with the founder yesterday, me and Justin, who's a Utah State kid, awesome guy. He's finishing the teaser today. We'll send that out next week to go to market. He's So with my guys, I make them take the semester off just because, hey, you're going to be busy and you're going to be cranking. So I need you 100% dedicated to learning the trade craft and adding value. So yeah, I mean, we get involved right away.
That's really cool. Thank you.
Great question. I'm also going to add to that. So one of our current students, Kohler Lang, has interned with Logan Growth, and I believe is also planning to go full-time with them here shortly.
That's right.
I put his contact information in the chat as well. He'd be an excellent resource for our students, along with Bob, to reach out to talk a little bit more about what it's like to intern and then subsequently work for Logan Growth.